Yo, I think we on. Yo. We back for another episode of the Who Asked Y'all To podcast. I'm pretty sure this is episode 17. If you missed us, we appreciate y'all missing the presence. Your boys is back. Slight little hiatus, had to get things right, but
Facts.
it's a pleasure to be back with you guys, presenting y'all with another episode. Of course, you got myself. I go by Chris Porter, or whatever you know me as out here. You got my good brother MDot on the other side. My good brother. How you feeling, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Living life with the kids. Going through some things, but fighting the daily struggles day at a time. And just overcoming. What about you, bro?
Shit. Excuse me. like we talked about, before we even hit record, just in this, space of transition for sure, like this space of like really as a man, as a soon to be 30-year-old, you know, getting to know myself a little bit, trying to get to know myself a little bit more, taking a lot of stuff on the chin at the moment, but such is life. Before we even, get into our topics and everything, I'm gonna take the shades off. Uh, you know, over the past couple weeks or so, it's certain people who for their privacy, I won't address them by name, um, that I've misstepped with and that I've mistreated. And as a man that's always trying to be accountable, and to those people who know who they are, that I don't have to name, put them in public spaces, I do want to sincerely apologize for my actions and for how I moved in the past couple weeks. No ill intention behind it whatsoever, but I do understand that as a man, I have to be accountable for my actions and how I react to certain things. So this is just to the people who specifically is for. I do apologize. I hope you'll accept my apology. I love y'all, and thank you for always working with me. I appreciate you for even letting me get that out there right quick.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was happening, but as always, I respect you for taking accountability. You actually took your glasses off, and accountability is very important. So good on you for doing that. And to the persons that you're responding to or saying that to, hopefully you accept this brother's apology because it looks like it's sincere and from the heart. So,
What we got for him this week, man?
all right, bet. So we got some craziness, we got some political things, we got culture, and we have one of our favorite things to talk about: wrestling. Wrestlemania 40. That just happened, that just dropped. So, the layout we're gonna have today, we're gonna jump into WrestleMania 40 first because we're gonna talk about that. We gotta talk about the winners and losers. And I know, it's been a couple weeks. You guys know who the winners are. You guys know the things that's been happening on Raw versus SmackDown. Forgive us, please. But we're gonna talk about WrestleMania 40. We're gonna dive into that and our takeaways from that, what we've seen, the old shoot moments, and all those different type of things. Then we're gonna pivot. We're gonna talk about Iran. Recently, what happened? Iran and Israel got into a conflict. Iran sent 300 missiles to Israel. And we're going to talk about that. I have an article here I'm going to read as well. Then we're going to talk about Diddy, the salaciousness, all the alleged things that have been happening, all the things that have been occurring with the raids and his sons being taken into custody, all these different type of things. We're going to dive into. We're going to talk about it. And lastly, Chris is going to talk about his experience at Dreamville, J.Cole's big concert, and also all the back and forth that's been happening between J.Cole, Future, Kendrick, Drake. It's a bunch of beef, a bunch of nonsense. Maybe throw Rick Ross in there as well. Hey, we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna dive in it as well. But first, most importantly, WrestleMania 40. Now, for wrestling fans that don't know, they changed how WrestleMania 40, what WrestleMania is now. Before it used to be one night, be about a 4-hour event. You get all your bells and whistles, but now it's a 2-night event, which is brilliantly laid out. And I respect it a lot more because it's not one night is trash and the other night is the best. It's this night is good, that night is greater. That's how I look at it. Like it's not a bad night. But I'll go through what I enjoyed about it. I'll go through night one, and then we'll go through night two, and then Chris will provide his takes as well. Give me 1 second. I'll pull that up for you guys so you guys can kind of see what's going on with that.
And we've been touching more on wrestling recently as avid fans, and so we made quite a few predictions and quite a few anticipated moments that we touched on here previously. I think we've seen a lot of that happen, and then a couple things that we didn't see happening as well. So it was to your point. I do genuinely appreciate the fact that it's an entire weekend event now instead of just a one night thing. Because it makes it more of a fan experience. Like if you miss night one, you can still
Yep.
catch night two and still get that same thrill. Like they bring the roof down every single night. So yeah. What we got for results? Did you get it up?
All right. So yeah, I got it right now. All right, so we're gonna go into the first match, right? So the first match, God, my computer, forgive me, guys. The first match was Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley. That happened, right? And it was a very good match. It was a lot of back and forth, a lot of move sets, a lot of domination from both parties. Chris, how did you feel about that match? How did you enjoy that match, Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch?
So I didn't get a chance to watch the match per se, but I've enjoyed their rivalry. Like I've enjoyed the rivalry. I watched a lot of their pre Wrestlemania interviews between the two of them. They sell it beautifully. Like they sell the rivalry beautifully. I know that Rhea ultimately ended up coming out on top as far as the match is concerned. Doesn't kind of didn't catch me all that too off guard as far as the finish of the match goes. I think they were really working on something special as far as Rhea is concerned, as far as her talent goes, and um, her and Becky have had this back and forth for a little while, so it was going to be fitting that Rhea walked away on top as far as that rivalry at the biggest moment. But no, I think without seeing the match, a dope rivalry that had a hell of a conclusion to it. Unfortunately, based on what's already happened this past Monday, Rhea just vacated her women's championship. So we'll see what happens from here. Yeah. Crazy is an understatement, man. Crazy is an understatement. I hate to see when that happens, especially when you know it's probably legitimate as far as like an actual injury. But nonetheless, man.
No, keep
What you
going, bro.
say?
Keep going.
Nah, I mean it's it's a rip off for the fans. You know that the company has to pivot at that point too, so the storyline will be changing. We'll get a new storyline, and that's cool. But I personally like the Rhea Ripley storyline. I like Mommy for whatever reason. Like she grew on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised to see her walk away the winner at WrestleMania though.
No, I wasn't surprised at all. I think that she's a fan favorite, and like you said, her injury is definitely legitimate. As we know, we're both wrestling fans, and we know like when a wrestler gets an injury like that, it's either they're going on a vacation, they're going on a little hiatus. It's because of either personal reasons or maybe because it's a serious injury. It's never, oh, they just want to do it because. No, there's reasons behind it. And this might be a legitimate injury. It might be. Is it? We don't know. We're not there, but I definitely was. I was loving the trajectory of her and Liv Morgan. I was liking that build up. I was liking that change because if I'm not mistaken, Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, they're taking time away from the company to go be with their family. If I'm not mistaken, because I
I
seen
believe
something.
so.
Yeah, I think I see something like that where they're going away. So a lot of things are happening. And wrestling, they're young. They're young people. They're in their 30s and 40s. You know what I mean? They're trying to do what they need to do for their family. So I get it. It's just it kind of sucks because you're like, I wanted to, I wanted to see them. I wanted to see them continue to wrestle, and it's just, it is what it is. All right, so continuing on, right? So the next match in night one, we have who's next after that? The Becky Lynch and sorry, my computer is slow, guys. I can't pull it up as quick as I can. I'm just going off the top of the head right now. So the next match that I seen that I recall was the Damage Control versus Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill.
Yep.
That match was very sensational to the point of all three of those women are dominating. Like Naomi, Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair. They're all three of them are powerhouses. Bianca by herself, she's just the everything. She is just that person, right? Jade Cargill, the Storm, first off, she has the look, she got the aesthetic, right? That's number one. She got the look and the aesthetic. She's strong as ever. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a female wrestler as strong as her besides Chyna, but Chyna couldn't wrestle. Jade Cargill can wrestle. So they defeated Damage Control in like 5 minutes. It wasn't even a long match. Which I'm like, you kind of expect that because the week before, Jade Cargill went against Damage Control and beat all three of them in 3 seconds. So you can't really you can't if you're WWE, you can't really write it to where Damage Control has a lasting match because they just got slammed by one of the people in that group. Now, that match was amazing. I think it was one of the better matches that they had for night one. And I think I definitely want to see these women continue their bond and grow together. But I know WWE, and I know this ain't gonna last too long. I can give it another 6 months of lasting, and then something's gonna happen because Bianca and Jade have to face each other. It just there's no other storyline that makes the most sense. Something's gonna happen. It's gonna cause a rift. They have to face each other. They might make Naomi the special guest referee. Something has to happen, right?
The way it's, I feel you. It feels like it's being built right now for them to be like tag team champions. Because I think Damage Control they're the tag team champions, right? The women's tag team champions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I could see it going either way. Honestly, I could see either them, being a dominant tag team for having a tag team run together, and then, of course, like you said, I clearly could see where it's going to be at some point it's going to have to get competitive between the two of them to where it's like, yeah, here, but who's number one?
Bro, it has to be. But my question to you is, we're talking about the tag team, the tag team go. Who do you make the tag champions? Because you got if you're gonna have a group of three, two got to be the tag champions, and one has to be a champion of either a mid-level title or the heavyweight title. That's just how it has to be. So who do you make the tag team? Do you make Bianca Belair and Naomi, and then you make Jade the champion, or do you make Naomi and Jade tag team and Bianca the champion?
So based on I think and I don't mean this in like a sexualizing way, but I think the more appealing team as far as dominance and like just like wrecking shop is Jade and Bianca. I think even Naomi might have like I think she's supposed to be facing Bayley coming up soon. For Bayley's championship that she just won at WrestleMania. So I think the path is lining up like that, but still like at some point here, like I think they'll have a run as a duo because it kind of makes sense for them just as two powerhouses to just dominate. But again, like at some point, man, it's going to get to a point where it's like, okay, when y'all gonna have that 1-on-1, and when y'all gonna see who's the real dominant one out of the two of y'all? Because y'all both powerhouses, like for the women's division. Like y'all, I don't know how Bianca isn't still women's champion, but
Yeah, I
neither
know,
here nor
bro.
there.
That's neither here nor there. You know what I mean? Whatever the writers got cooked up, they got cooked up. But I think I enjoyed the match. I think you enjoyed it, and like you said, we got to see what happens. It can go
For
either
sure.
way. What happened? So next match, right? 6-pack ladder tag team match. Chairs everywhere. People went through tables. R-Truth was thinking it was a regular tag match, doing all this crazy stuff, playing his character up, which is funny. So the winners of that match was A-Town Under. They won the SmackDown titles, and then Awesome Truth wins Raw tag team titles. Which, for people that don't know, they just changed the Raw tag team title, which they look nice. Like
Yeah,
I think
they do.
They like that design. They like that design a lot. That new design, they like it a lot. So I think they're gonna put it on every belt now. Because the old tag team champions, they look ugly, man. Like they look like kid belts. I didn't like why they did that.
I didn't even understand the concept of it. It was like they were silver with a red and blue belts. Like I can't wait for Friday to see them change the SmackDown title too. Because if you change the Monday the Raw title, you gotta change the SmackDown title.
You have
Those things
to.
are atrocious. Like
You have to. And they might make them. They might make them similar because of the way that they're not gonna make them two different tag teams. They're not gonna make them two different looks. It's gonna be similar.
Right.
It might just be different, only slightly.
But yeah, it was a hell of a match, man. I still don't know what to think of A-Town Down Under just yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what to think of Grayson Waller. Period. I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent on Grayson Waller. And Austin Theory, truth be told, but I think it's a good opportunity to build up their character for sure.
Yeah.
And they've already been working on their like they both were like clear heels, so it's they've already been pushing those narratives. So I am excited for Awesome Truth though. Like I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited for Awesome Truth. It's dope to see, man, two veterans who've been doing this thing for a little while now, both The Miz and R-Truth, get gold this late in their careers because they vets, man. Like, Judgment Day's been dominant. So, I mean, ultimately they walked away with a bigger prize later on in the weekend. But either way, man, like seeing R-Truth's character get the shine that it's getting right now is dope. Even if it's like him just playing a caricature. I love it every single time, man. I get a crack out of it every single time. So, good for them, man. Good for them. And it'll be interesting to see how long they hold on to those belts for. I don't think they'll have a long run.
I don't think it's gonna be for a long time. I think it's a gimmick run. I think, I like it because it's nostalgic. This is something we've seen in the mid 2000s to the 2010s. So it's nostalgic for us, but then again, is it something that's going to last long? Probably not. I give it less than a year with this type of title run because, I don't think it's going to be something that once the gimmick is done, once it runs its course, it runs its course. But I'm happy that they do got it because I didn't really see anybody else like the New Day. I didn't see them winning that. Like I didn't see them getting that New Catch Republic. I don't really know anything about them like that. So I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. But moving on, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
So then we had the father-son match, right? Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Now, we know who won that match. Rey Mysterio and Andrade won that match. Now, that match had a lot of high-flying moments. I liked it a lot. I think that was a very good, underrated match, right? Because nobody really knew how that match was going to go. Was Dom going to win it? Was Rey going to win it? But I think I liked it because it had a lot of moments where you was like, oh, wow, like this match is like, this is an underrated match. They really going back and forth. I like it a lot. I think I enjoyed that match a lot more than a lot of the other ones that we just mentioned, to be honest, because it had a lot of high flying moments and it had a lot of back and forth. And then like Rey Mysterio can still go. I mean, he's pushing over his 40. He can still go. He can still move. He's still quick. He's still fast. And then his son Dom is nice. He's not trash. He's not a trash
Nah.
wrestler. Like he's nice. And you know, we get to see Andrade again in that WrestleMania space. Like, bro, I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the match a lot. What about you?
Nah, definitely enjoyed it. Like you said, a lot of high flying moments, man. Um, I'm I don't I like the Dom Ray dynamic. Um, although I would love, I wouldn't mind seeing them be more aligned. Um, I think the play of just the child that felt like their dad didn't do for them or was a deadbeat, quote unquote. Um, it gets over well. I I wonder, are we at the conclusion of that now though? And as far as Dom is concerned, man, I would love to see more character building with Dom, man, because
Yeah.
I think in the Judgment Day per se, he doesn't get to shine the way
Nope.
he possibly could. And so like it works for now because Mommy was the star, I guess you could say, and now Priest is probably going to get his run as a star. But just based on lineage and like you said, he's far from a trash wrestler. I would like to see more being done with Dom as far as like just contention, like what's happening with Jay, like with Jay Uso. Like I
Yeah.
would love to see that for Dom as well. But overall, dope match for sure. Dope match.
Dope.
Underrated, probably underrated for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the most underrated matches on day one. Now the next match, like you just said, Jimmy and Jay. You know, we've seen brother versus brother, that internal battle. You know, who's better? Who's better? Brother versus brother. That match. Well, Jay Uso won that match. He defeated Jimmy Uso. I'll be honest with you, that match was boring. I didn't really care for that match. They don't have a lot of move sets. They don't have. They do a couple moves. I mean, they super kick, cross body, Samoan drop. That's all they do. I mean,
Couple spears.
there's not really a lot that they offer me similar to Roman Reigns. When Roman Reigns fights, he doesn't have a lot of move sets. He's more of a spear, Superman punch, reversal here, reversal there. His move set is very basic. All right, it's not really something I'm like, oh snap, like oh my god, like it's just basic to me. I didn't enjoy this match at all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought the match was very like it had a good high flying moments. Don't get me wrong, but their move sets are very plain and basic. Not a lot there, and then I get it. You know, they don't have that build. They don't have. They're very athletic, but I don't. I don't know. They don't do it for me, man. I'm sorry. They don't do it for me.
We feel differently on this one. And I don't know if it's more so just like storyline as opposed to the actual wrestling part of it. Because as far as the wrestling is concerned, you may not even be wrong. I think Jay more so does at least attempt a little bit more high flying sort of maneuvers, but even at that point, like you said, it's more so just like some cross body stuff.
Cross
It's
body drop, like bro, like
yeah,
I
like
can do that.
for sure, for sure. Even me with my leg, I could probably
Yeah,
pull
bro,
off
you can
a
do that,
good
bro.
cross body or something. You know what I
He
mean?
has somebody with one leg in there. You be right there to fit in. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
mean,
He was
it's a
nice
little
too.
Samoan splash jump. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, like, yeah, I
headbutt,
mean, nothing.
elbow
You feel
drop.
me?
Do that.
Hey, and I Superman punched the hell out of somebody. You hear me?
There you go. Hop right in there.
But yeah, nah, I mean, like match quality probably obviously not the tip of the iceberg, but I enjoyed like seeing them. Like I've enjoyed how much Jimmy has been the
Yeah.
thorn in Jay's side up to this point. And so like even in certain points of the match where Jay is trying to talk to Jimmy or Jimmy is pleading with Jay for just for the sake of trying to, you know, I guess one up him or like get him to drop his guard type of thing. Like I enjoy seeing that part of it because we know we already know this. There's scripting that takes place and it's not a
Right.
secret. But like that'll actually to me that's very good scripting because you can actually envision that in reality, like twins having this rivalry of not wanting the other twin to out
Yeah.
surpass them to in a professional space. So like to see it come to a head, and also like I said, to see where Jey Uso's character is going as a singles competitor. um I enjoyed it, man. I definitely enjoyed it. I thought that it was the perfect match for Jay to continue to catapult himself as main event Jey Uso. And yeah, also from the bloodline perspective, like, and then putting a lot of that to bed as well, because obviously throughout the weekend we get more into the bloodline stuff, but starting off with what was to come for the remainder of the weekend, as far as where the bloodline stood and how things was going to go with the bloodline. I thought it was a great introduction into what we was going to get the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, and like you said, I think, like, don't get me wrong, I think the storyline was good. Like, I think the storyline was great, but me, I like a lot of move sets. I like, more impact on the wrestling. I like more emphasis on that. So that's just
Fair.
me. I've always been that type of guy. I've always enjoyed that. But yeah, good take on that, bro. And then next we have, for day one, we have Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn versus Gunter. So Sami Zayn took that one home. And for me, you kind of can see it because they did the thing when Sami went out for day one. He went out. Kevin Owens is there. They're doing the whole intro for him. And then the same thing when Kevin Owens' match on day two, Sami Zayn is there to cheer him on. So I kind of see with all that foreshadowing, like, yeah, Sami's going to win this one. And I mean, I didn't really. I mean, I've watched Sami Zayn since he was in NXT when him and Finn Balor was coming up around the same time. They all came up around the same time. Finn, Sammy, and KO. They all came up around the same time, and they were really good when they first started. But Sami Zayn, I mean, I'm not really. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't really follow Sami Zayn. So this match, to me, I didn't really watch it. I didn't really care for it. So it was kind of a, I didn't really care about it. But go ahead. I'll take your take on it.
For me, another, like, the one thing and I don't want to be redundant, but the one thing I want to, like, applaud the WWE for is, like, the building of these stories and the storytelling in themselves, because this was billed as a super underdog sort of situation, a super underdog match where Gunther had pretty much been having his way with Sammy over the past couple weeks since Sammy won the tournament to be number one contender for Intercontinental Championship. That being said, like you said, it was just a tad bit predictable in terms of Sammy being this character who's fought and fought and fought to be a champion, and worked his butt off, went to the Alpha Academy and got trained by Chad Gable. Like you mentioned, having all his friends, or at least his best friend in KO, being there, as he's walking into the arena, or onto the stage, I should say. So like it was definitely predictable. I never really got the whole Gunther thing. Like I don't get it, truth be told. And I don't mean that from, like, him being an international superstar, but like it's just not much there personality wise. So like, I mean, his run, I genuinely don't understand how his run got to as long as it got to, but like, um, fitting ending for sure.
Nah, yeah, and it's Sammy's turn. I want to see where they're gonna take it. I want to see how far it's gonna go, and I want to see how they're gonna promote this up, because the Intercontinental Championship, to be honest, hasn't really been a championship where we associate for the past like 7-8 years where it's been like, oh, that's one of the titles. Everybody, no, it's like a title where it's like a mid card title. It's not really, no one cares about Continental. Back in the day, it was like, yo, who's the Intercontinental Champion? Like, who is that? Now it's just kind of like, well, we don't really care. We don't really care about that. Similar to the United States Championship, like Logan Paul has that, where it's like a novelty now. Like it's like he has it. He's the star. He's been promoted. They want him to have it. Cool. They have to bring another title in, which I'm going to segue into the next match, the last match of the night. So The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Probably one of the most entertaining matches of the night. I'm not going to lie to you. The Rock's character is the best it's ever been. Older Rock is similar to older Batman. That motherfucker just doing whatever the hell he wants. He don't give a damn. Like, if anybody knows DC Comics, they know who older Batman is. Older Batman is older Rock. Older Rock is older Logan. He do whatever he wants. He did whatever he wants, right? The Rock comes in with the bloodline. It's him, Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns. They come in. Boom. The match gets started. And then, The Rock is doing what The Rock does. Doing little cheating, mischievous things, right? Telling the referee, you better stop, don't count, coach you out, or you're fired. The Rock will do what The Rock wants. Like, magical writing. Magical writing, right? Then The Rock is in the ring, takes off the belt. Mama Rhodes, I have the belt here with your son's blood. Like, it's just, it was just masterful. Now, was I expecting The Rock to be running out like he did against John Cena doing it? No, he's older now. He's like in his 50s, almost 60 years old. That's not acceptable now. The role he is now is more of an enforcer, badass. Yes, I love that. Back when he faced John Cena, he was more of a baby face. Now, more definitely heel. Definitely, I don't give a damn what you say to me.
Without a doubt.
Like, no issue. I love how this match was. They said it wasn't Bloodline Rules. It was definitely Bloodline Rules with that match. They got the dub. I enjoyed it. My favorite match of the night.
Highly entertaining. Like,
bro.
What else can you say? The Rock, like you said, chef's kiss. Like,
yeah, bro.
The Rock he's box office. Like,
what?
You don't miss with The Rock for whatever reason. The charisma, the like you said, the I don't give a F. I'm the final boss. Like, I'm the final. Like, what you was about to say?
No, but hold on though. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I remember when you said, "I'm tired of seeing The Rock. I want him out of here." now you're over here saying, I caught you, but now you're over here saying, "Yo, this is the best thing, bro." That whole time you were saying, if people go back to the beginning episodes, Chris used to say all the time, "Yo, I'm tired of seeing The Rock. I don't want to see him. Dude. Like, what they got him doing here, man? Why is he even here?" Now all of a sudden, yo, The Rock, box office, just put him anywhere. Like, bro, what? Got you, bro.
You got me for sure. You got me for sure. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the necessity behind it, or like how it would all tie in. Because it was at random at the time, just in my opinion. Like, I know there had been rumors, but like it was just random. After the Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row. All of a sudden, The Rock is here to challenge Roman Reigns. That's the way it was. If you remember, that's how it originated, as he was going to be the challenger to Roman.
Yep.
The fans clearly wasn't feeling that. Somebody hit a switch and things changed. And so the heel switch for me has been like you said, if not The Rock's best work, hands down some of The Rock's best work.
Yeah.
And I think that real life part of it, of him like getting on the board at TKO, combined with the story writing aspect of it, of him being the final boss, like, again, you can't really write stuff up like that. No. Like, the timing is amazing. You know what I mean? So was I thrown off by it in the beginning? Hell yeah. Like, I ain't get it. I didn't get it. But over the course of time, seeing how they've involved him into this whole storyline, how it's told the story of him and Roman Reigns while also catapulted the story of Cody Rhodes. I I like, again, amazing work, and even for Seth Rollins to have that story in there between him and Roman as well, because they came up together too. You know what I'm saying? So having that dynamic be involved in it also is just it's I don't again, the WWE is in a time right now where whoever is in charge creatively, if we're saying that's Triple H, then like they're not missing right now.
No, they're firing off all cylinders. Like, it's just like, if this was like Monday Night Raw back in the day, bro, they're beating Monday Night Raw back in the day. That's how powerful it is. If we're going against Attitude Era and this era now, this era is beating that era. Like, it's just the amount of storytelling is crazy. And now, when you talked about Roman Reigns and how they brought, The Rock, and how they brought him in, and they were going to do Rock versus Roman, I really think that's going to be something for next year, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's not off the table, because The Rock's already hinted to it in his show that they were going to wrestle in WrestleMania. Then this WrestleMania they were going to do it. But remember, we seen it. We said, wow, we don't think that's going to happen no more, because the way everybody's reacting about it. Like, The Rock's just going to put himself in here to wrestle. Nobody wants to see that. Everybody wants to see Cody finish his story, blah, blah, blah. So it didn't happen this year. But I can guarantee you it's going to be something setting up for next year, because what did they say about Roman? The Triple H already confirmed it. Oh, he's going to be in a new story. What's a new story now? What's a different story now? What's something we haven't seen now? A feud against him and The Rock. How do you create that? Something has to happen. What belt did The Rock
Internal chaos.
Yeah, what belt did The Rock just get? The People's Champ belt. Has he done anything with that belt yet? No. Has anybody got that belt yet? No. So what is he gonna do with that belt? Who doesn't have a belt right now, but everybody loves it when he does have one? Roman Reigns. So I mean, I'm just saying, bro, it just makes sense. It makes sense. Like,
I can see it.
who else would be fitting for that title that you can name right now that you can say, I would want him in that title? Not really anybody on the main roster. The only person I can think of is Roman Reigns, because look at the change. When Roman Reigns first got that title, everybody hated him. Nobody liked him. When Roman Reigns doesn't have that title, and we're going to talk about it now, when we get to day 2, everybody loves him for not having the title, but they miss him. They miss him now. They miss him as a champion. Like, the amount of applause this man got, and everybody was saying, thank you, Roman, thank you, Roman. Like, bro, that's crazy. You never hear that before. You've never heard that when somebody loses their title belt. They're like, ooh, yeah, get him out of here. No, they're saying, thank you, Roman. Like, that's crazy.
I mean, he's got an amazing story. So
Yeah.
But all right, we on a night 2?
Night 2. We on a night 2. So, night 2, we're going to start with Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins, right? For the World Heavyweight Champion. So, as you can know, Seth Rollins lost. Drew McIntyre beats him. But what happens after that, right? And mind you, the match was Drew and Seth was pretty good. It was okay. It wasn't. Let's focus on the end to tail end, right? Who comes in and finally cashes in the Money in the Bank?
Before we get to the cash in, why was he able to cash in?
You said, why was he able to cash in?
Yeah, because Drew got on that table and started popping his stuff.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, explain. Go speak on it.
Nah, so he, since the return of the infamous CM Punk to the WWE, there's been a big clashing of egos between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre takes responsibility for putting CM Punk on the shelf right now, with his torn triceps. So, of course, like you mentioned, Drew wins the match, gets up there on CM Punk is doing color commentary, mind you, on the match.
Mm-hmm.
Drew takes it upon himself in his moment to jump up on that announce table and pop his stuff to CM Punk, to which CM Punk swiped his legs from underneath him, takes his brace off, and starts bashing him over the head with the brace, beating him with the brace, and then out comes your man.
Yeah, Damian Priest. He comes in and I mean, anybody that watches wrestling knows they cash the belt. They cash that in at WrestleMania. There's not a bigger thing. It's a majority of the times at WrestleMania.
Since they started, since I can't remember who was the first person to cash at WrestleMania. It might have been. I don't think Edge was at WrestleMania. It might have been Edge though. It was either
Money in the Bank a couple times.
Yeah, he did. And I specifically remember Seth cashing, but I'm sure there was somebody before Seth because Seth is recent time. But yeah, what was you about to say?
Yeah, with WrestleMania, with Damian Priest cash, I mean, nobody really cashes the Money in the Bank for a mid card title. They usually go for the World Heavyweight Championship. Like that's usually how it goes. They never really go and cash it in for a United States champion or the Intercontinental. It's usually for the World Heavyweight. So Damian Priest took advantage. He got the title now. I really want to see what he's gonna do with it. How far he's gonna go, how he's gonna carry it. I really want to see how that's gonna go with him.
I think this is the end of the Judgment Day. That's my take on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably going to be because, like we said earlier, Rhea Ripley's she doesn't have the belt anymore. She vacated it. She's probably going to be taking time off because she's injured now. You got Dom, which is kind of like we don't know where he can go with it. Is he going to go somewhere else? Is he going to have his own storyline develop? Then you got Finn Balor in there. Like, what are you going to do with him? What are you going to do with him? So, what's going to happen? Like, is it going to break up? Are you going to keep it around?
I think they've had a little bit of a thing too in terms of like previous friction within the Judgment Day. So that's just my take. Is I definitely think that there will be some dissension amongst the group, and at some point here, I mean, at some point here, I think that Judgment Day thing is going to be.
Yeah, kaputs. Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely agree. All right, moving on. So it was a Philadelphia street fight. So no rules. It was Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament. For those who watch, who liked the match, I mean, I think the match was okay. It was all right to me. I mean, Bobby Lashley past his prime with the Street Profits. Those guys are pretty nice against the Final Testament. I mean, it was an okay match. I mean, it wasn't one of my, the ones that stood out to me, but it was a good match. They end up winning and beating the Final Testament. I mean, Chris, how'd you feel about the match?
They could have put this match on night one and put the 6-team tag team ladder match on night two. That's my take on it, man. I didn't see why this was a WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest with you, I get that there was a feud there, but I didn't think the feud was big enough for night two. Truth be told, it just didn't. With the totality of the night, like you almost could have started with the. I mean, I get why you maybe got to start with Drew and Seth, but I don't see why this would have followed. Truth be told, like it just didn't fit to me. But I mean, shout out to the Street Profits.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes like if you a Bobby Lashley fan, this match was probably for you. If you're not a Bobby Lashley fan, you're like, all right, I just watched it. Like it is what it is. But moving on, we're not gonna speak too much on the fight. But moving on, LA Knight versus AJ Styles, which is a pretty good match. I enjoyed that. I like their rivalry. I like LA Knight. Yeah, I like him a lot. I think it was a great match. Even though there was no titles involved, I think it was a good match. I think it was a solid singles match, and I think it deserved the spot at WrestleMania. What about you, bro?
For sure. This the build up for this was there. I think it's interesting to see, where they take each individual character now that they're, I mean, no, they got something coming up, as a matter of fact, because they're squaring off to be number one contender for Cody's championship. But no, I mean, I think that the buildup had been there over the past couple of weeks or so, with them costing each other chances at titles previously. So regardless of belts being involved, this was going to be something that was entertaining, something that was going to be hard fought. And so for it to still be going on post WrestleMania, I think is dope as well.
Yeah.
And so, like, for them now to have that redemption of, like, you know, the one who comes out on top is the one who gets a shot at the belt, I think is fitting. And so even if that was a WrestleMania stipulation, I would have been okay with it. But I think the WrestleMania match was definitely solid, and I'm super excited for part 2.
Absolutely.
Or 3 or whatever part it is.
I want to see where this goes. I got to get back on my Raw and SmackDown. I just don't have cable. I don't have cable anymore. Like, I have all streaming shit, but I don't have nothing to watch Raw and SmackDown. But so I just watch the highlights.
Let me put you on one of these days, man.
Okay,
I got you.
All right, bet. All right, so moving on. So we have Logan Paul. This guy, Logan Paul, which, let me not take it away. I think Logan Paul is an excellent wrestler. Like, I'm not taking that away from him. I just think that he was given a lot of ample opportunity and time to become that wrestler, like a lot of people don't get. So it was Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens in a triple threat match. I liked how when Kevin Owens came out, he waited for Randy Orton like a sign of respect and drove the cart, drove Randy Orton all the way to the entrance with him. I do like their dynamic. I like Randy Orton's moment right now where he's more of the older wrestler. So he's not really going to be the guy. He's already been that guy numerous times. He's already cemented his legacy. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's just kind of there now where he can provide lineage and tutelage. So he's more of Triple H, how Triple H was back in the day when he was coming up. Like, he's that guy now. Like, yeah, he can be the main guy if you want him to be, but he doesn't really have to be. And I think that's just where he's at. Like, I think he can probably go with any role WWE puts him in at this moment. And he probably doesn't give a damn. He's just like, I'm just here. So with that result of the match, sure, Logan Paul wins that match, retaining the United States champion, which is kind of like, all right, if you're not going to lose to these guys, who the hell are you going to lose it to? Like, who are you going to lose it to? Who's going to beat you? Like, that's the thing with WWE. Like, if he can't lose to Randy Orton or Kevin Owens, who is he going to lose to? Like, who's going to beat this guy? Like, who is going to beat him? Who do you have in charge? And let's not forget who came out, who was in that Prime costume this year. I Show Speed, famous internet YouTube streamer, was unmasked. He faced Randy Orton. He started barking at Randy Orton. Randy Orton did what Randy Orton does. Got him on the announcer table, barked right back at him, and RKO'd the hell out of him. I thought he broke his neck.
Bro, that was a vicious
RKO. Bro, that was a vicious RKO.
Man.
Vicious RKO.
Can't fake that.
No.
Nah, I don't know who. I don't know who's going to challenge Logan at this point, man. The power of social media is crazy. Cause, like, what has this guy done? Like, what has he done? Like, I mean, all respect to him, man. Shout out to him. But yeah, no, I don't know who's going to challenge. And Prime is his drink, right? Like, Prime, that's his company, right?
He owns that with multiple people,
bro.
So he's making
it's like a double bag, like that's
double bag, bro. Double bag. He got the contract with WWE. Now he has the beverage hydration drink, and he got advertising now. So they put his drink in the square ring now. They put his drink in the square ring.
Bro, talk about a flex. Like, talk about a flex.
Bro.
Like, crazy. Bro. Shout out to that white boy, man.
All right. I'm him getting his money. All right, so we're going to pivot. We're going to move to the Women's Championship. So, if nobody knows, Bayley versus Io Sky, right? So, Io Sky is from Damage Control. Bayley was partnered with Damage Control for a while. They had beef, so now they had the championship run. She had a championship title match against Io Sky. Bayley defeats Io Sky and wins the title. Now, what did I think about this match? To be honest with you, I don't really remember anything about this match. To be honest, I don't really remember. I don't really remember the match. It's a long 2 days when you're watching and focus on wrestling. It's a lot of but this one, it kind of, maybe I was in the bathroom. I don't know. I mean, I let
Nah, samesies.
bro, I don't remember this match at all, son. And
I think they did their best to build the rivalry.
Yeah.
But again, it's another one of the matches that like you could have put this on night one and I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
I get why maybe they deserve the shine and the spotlight based on the storytelling work that's already been put in, but could have easily swapped it out for something from night one.
Yeah, they could have switched the Bianca Belair match and this one. I would have definitely preferred that one in night two, or the Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley. Put that on night two. Why you
could have just put all gold in LA Knight and AJ Styles. You could have put all the gold on night two, but I get why you gotta split it up because you gotta have interest both nights.
Yeah.
But shout out to Bayley.
Yeah, shout out to Bayley. I was actually happy for her winning because she won Royal Rumble, and in my mind I'm thinking like, was that just for nothing? Like, is this woman not getting the gold around her? Like, she winning Royal Rumble, and then it's crazy because she didn't really get a lot of press from winning Royal Rumble. Like, it wasn't really mentioned as much as comparison to Cody. Cody won Royal Rumble, and it was like, oh, Royal Rumble winner, but Bayley wasn't really getting a lot of hype because she won the Royal Rumble, which was kind of odd to me. I didn't really like how that was going.
Nah.
Yeah,
but again, shout out to her for finishing her story too.
Yeah, facts. Fact. So lastly, right, the match we've been waiting for, the WWE Universal Championship match, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, Bloodline Rules. So before we say who the winners are, who won that match, let's just say what happened in that match. So it was a back and forth between Cody and Roman. I think the wrestling was beautiful. I think with Cody's style and Roman's style, they fit very well because Cody has a lot of moves. He's more of a technician. He can do a lot more. Roman's more of a bull. He's more of a powerhouse guy, but they fit each other's styles very well. You know, and if I'm not mistaken, Roman had on Jordans, so he might be sponsored by Jordan now. To be honest, because
I think he is.
Triple H just mentioned he was on Complex. He just mentioned, he was asked, are we ever gonna see a wrestler with his own sneaker or being sponsored? And he said, yeah, we've been in talks. We think it's gonna happen soon. And then what the hell happened? Roman Reigns got his own Jordan deal, NIL deal, whatever you want to call it. But skipping past that, so what happens in that match? Bloodline Rules, baby. You know who comes out? The Rock. Come on now. He comes out in the $500 shirt, comes out with the belt, and what do you think he's gonna do? He's gonna come and whip some Cody's ass. He's gonna come do that. He goes in there, takes the belt, about to whip Cody Rhodes' butt. Who comes out of nowhere? Whose music do we hear? Undertaker. We hear his music. And
lights go off, man.
Lights go off. He's in the ring, and what does he do? Gives Rock a hell of a choke slam. My goodness.
I remember being a kid, choke slamming my cousins like,
yeah, and you wish it had the impact of the Undertaker. You wish it was like that. His shit is powerful, man. So he slams the Rock, choke slams him, gets out of the ring, and then what music do we hear next? Shield music, right? And I lied to you not. When I heard Shield music, I thought it was Dean Ambrose. But then I was like, no way, he's wrestling for New Japan. So he's like, there's no way he would have been able to make that contact. And him and WWE, they're not on the best terms right now. So I can kind of see where my prediction was off. But a glimpse of me was like, yo, if they brought back Dean Ambrose. But then who comes in the Shield, the costume and all that? Seth Rollins. So how did you take away from that match? And Cody Rhodes won that match, by the way. But how did you take away from that
match? Great match, man. Yo, all of the cameos per se, like, because like you said, bloodline rules, baby. Like we knew that this was going to happen as far as you know our cameos and our interferences and things of that nature. But we got legends, we got currents. You ain't even mentioned John Cena.
Oh my
John,
God, I missed him.
you ain't even mentioned the goat. You know what I mean? Like we got Cena, we got Taker, we got The Rock. Like we got Bloodline. So we got Jimmy, Jay, Solo. Like literally. And at the end of the night, I mean, like you said, Cody walks away with the championship, but you know, you gotta give Roman Reigns his props, man.
Oh yeah,
You gotta give Roman Reigns his props. Um, I know that a lot of it is storytelling, and like we mentioned multiple times, masterful storytelling on the part of the WWE. But can't take away from the fact that this man has had the company on his back for years now. With you know, I would say maybe not the best competition at different points,
right.
and still able to carry the company. So all props to Roman Reigns. At the end of the night, I felt like I knew that Cody Rhodes was going to have to finish his story. It kind of just made sense, and it's only right that you give Roman his time. I think that that's what's going to happen is that they're going to give Roman his time, man. It's well earned and well deserved,
Yeah,
and I think this is the put the company on Cody back era.
yeah, and I think that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna see Roman. He's gonna be gone for a while. He may come back in like 3 to 6 months. But then who else will come back during that time? Brock Lesnar may be coming back, trying to get him to come back and wrestle. He's still part of WWE. He's still contracted with them. He's just on ice right now because of the whole allegation stuff. But he's going to be coming back soon. I can see him getting put in the picture, put in the fold as he should because he's a powerhouse wrestler. He draws a lot of names. Um, but yeah, I think Cody is pretty fair game for him on where he wants to go. I think he has exclusive decision as to who his next opponent's going to be. He's many reasons where he can go. He can go the route of it could be a thing between him, LA Knight, AJ Styles. It can be a thing between him and whoever. But I think he just has that direction to kind of go wherever because, like you said, he got the title now. He's going to be the draw. He finished his story. What's the next story? What's the next obstacle for him?
Most definitely, most definitely. Can't. I feel like we say this all the time, but I'm genuinely excited to see where we take it, where they take it, and us as fans how we get to digest it all because it's been a redundant point, but it definitely does feel like a new era of wrestling, um, a rejuvenated era of wrestling, and so like it's just cool to like you know as adults now to be able to digest it and be entertained by it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%, 100%. But yeah, those are the 2 nights of WrestleMania. Hopefully, we broke it down for you guys. We explained everything, and hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. So now we're gonna pivot to the Iran attack with Israel. So this is more of a serious topic, right? So I'm gonna read the article for you guys. Well, actually, this is a pretty long article, so I'll try to be as quick as possible. This is from Al Jazeera. So this article pretty much talks about what happened in Israel and when. So Iran launched a massive aerial attack. Marks the first direct attack by Iran on Israel territory from Iranian soil. Iran called the attack Operation True Promise. The attack began on Saturday about 8 p.m. It lasted about 5 hours, according to the United States officials. During the attack, explosions were heard in cities across Israel, including Tel Aviv. The explosions were also heard in Jerusalem, and air raid sirens sounded in more than 720 locations as Israeli forces sought to shoot down the projectiles. Israel's chief military spokesman, Daniel Hagari, and Iran's said Iran's attack involved more than 120 ballistic missiles, 170 drones, and more than 30 cruise missiles. According to a report by the Associated Press news agency, the Israeli military also said the vast majority of the projectiles were intercepted outside the country's borders with the help from the United States, the United Kingdom, and France. Jordan also shot down some of the missiles aimed at Israel as they were flying through the Jordanian airspace. Israel's military added that a small number of hits were identified in a base in southern Israel. Minor damage occurred to the infrastructure, and it said a 7-year-old girl was also severely injured by missile fragments, while other patients sustained minor injuries and some were treated for anxiety. The United States Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said on Sunday that the U.S. also intercepted dozens of missiles and drones launched at Israel from Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. So that's just a synopsis of what happened. I'm not going to read the whole article, but so it looks like it's happening. It's happening. I mean, Israel's getting attacks. We're already defending those attacks. You know, we're in the front of it now. This looks like an incoming war that we may have to be involved in. What's your take on it, Chris?
I don't think there is no may about it, unfortunately. Being as though Israel is an ally of ours, like you mentioned, based on reports, we've already intercepted missiles intended for Israel. This sounds so just out the blue, although obviously they've been in conflict, so it's not. But like for them to actually take the initiative to make an attack, like an actual coordinated assault, it's a little mind blowing. I don't mean to chuckle at it, but it's a little bit mind blowing. And so, you know how the United States does in these situations. We've seen it. We've seen it already. So it's I think whether it be through funding, like we've already done, supplying of weapons and things of that nature, like we've already done. At this point, possibly supplying troops, supplying bodies. At this point, I definitely think that we'll be involved in it. Where do you think that we go from here?
Israel's our ally. Even though they're having issues right now between them and Palestine, and they're having issues with Iran. I mean, we already give Israel a few $1 billion a year in aid. Could that translate more to troops on the ground? Could that translate more to more money for weapons? Could that? I don't know. I think that Israel is our ally. And we have to defend them. It's part of our negotiations with them. We have to defend them. We have to assist them. So I think the next step for the United States is to assist Israel in the best way they can. We are not an ally of Iran. Iran. We're not an ally of Iraq. We're not an ally of Yemen or Syria. So we need to help our allies when they need assistance. So I think that's what's going to happen. Do I agree with it 100%? No, not really, but it's part of our policy and it's part of something that we said we were going to do a long time ago. So we just got to assist them and see what happens with that. See what's going to happen. But it's not looking good right now. I don't even know why Iran would do that. But I'm gonna read this real quick because it's gonna give a little synopsis as to why Iran is doing what they're doing. Right? Why did it? Because it feels like it's out of nowhere, like you said. So I'll read this to kind of clear that up a little bit. So Iran carried out attacks. The attacks in retaliation for suspected Israeli strike that killed an Iranian military commander, Major General Mohammad Reza Sahadi, in Damascus on April 1st. He was killed along with 6 other Iranians nationals, including other generals. At least 6 Syrian citizens were also killed. It seems that Iranian leaders are determined to take action, but also be seen to take action. David Dees Roche, an associate professor at the National Defense University in Washington, D.C., told Al Jazeera. What indicates to me is that there are considerations of pride and prestige that are divorced from strategy and tactical utility that may indicate a more dangerous era than we thought, he added. Hezbollah, a Lebanese armed group backed by Iran, and the Israeli military have been training attacks across the Lebanon-Israel border since October 8th, the day after the Hamas-led attacks in southern Israel, and Israel's brutal retaliation on the besieged Gaza Strip. On Saturday, Iranian state media announced that the armed forces had seized an Israel-linked container ship near the Strait of Hormuz. So, I mean, it's a retaliation strike. Luckily, thank God, where Israel does have their Iron Dome, which kind of protects them from any missile strikes and kind of destroys the missiles when they do send them over. But then you have other allies that were able to shoot them down. So I think the U.S. is going to have to do what they do. They're going to have to plan, strategize, and really figure out how they can handle this situation that doesn't lead into World War III. That's the main thing, right?
Yeah. Was there anything about casualties at all?
I think they said one person was killed. Yeah, no, actually no. It just says a 7-year-old was severely injured by missile fragments, and people were treated with minor injuries and suffering anxiety attacks. So,
Okay.
yeah, I don't see anything. Yeah.
I mean, so as far as we know, nothing about casualties. So
no,
I mean, thank God for that. Like you said, at this point, we just gotta hope that we're not looking at the next World War.
yeah. And I think right here, if I'm not mistaken, it says a senior official from U.S. President Joe Biden administration said Israel was not seeking to escalate the situation. They could have. They were within their right, because a country you're within your right to protect your country, protect your citizens of your country. They could have struck back. They were within their right.
100%.
Nobody could have said, "Oh, well, why did Israel do that?" No, they got attacked. They sent 300 missiles. What did you want us to do? So,
Man,
it's crazy, man. I wouldn't want to be in those conversation rooms making these type of decisions. I'll tell you that.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like you literally are the trigger man for a potential mass casualty. Like
Yeah.
as man.
And then let me say this. So this is what Biden said. So Biden made clear that the United States will not participate in any offensive operations against Iran, according to a senior administration official. But he reiterated his support for Israel, i.e., proxy war, i.e., funding, i.e., military, high military weapons, i.e., supporting Israel to the fifth power, but without sending any troops. So we're going to do everything else. We're just not going to put any troops on the floor. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
That's what it's like.
Okay.
So, yeah, man. But this is a crazy thing. I hope people are watching this, opening their eyes up, because the world's getting crazier and crazier, and it's just leading to a big war. And why do people want war? Why do things happen like that? Military-industrial complex. Wars create money. Wars create jobs. It's a horrible thing, but it's the truth. So we got to figure out what this country wants to be. Do we want a country that wants a war all the time, or do we want a country that goes for peace and prosperity and trying to assist nations when they need help?
It sounds ideal, but we know that's not how it goes, unfortunately.
Yeah, we gotta wait and see.
Unfortunately. But we'll see. We'll see for sure.
All right. So pivoting. Oh, jeez. Hold on. So we're gonna pivot to the Diddy. The Diddy investigation. I have an article here I'm gonna read. It's gonna give us a little synopsis of what's been going on and what things have been missed. If people are not familiar with the Diddy investigation, Sean Puffy Combs. Let's figure out what's going on. So this is an article from Fox 5 New York. So I'll read it. I'll get Chris's reaction, and then we'll go from there. All right. The slew of lawsuits accusing Sean Diddy Combs of sexual assault, sex trafficking, and other charges are shocking and disturbing. Months after they were filed, some still wanted to believe the motive was money, not justice. But on March 25th, federal raids on his Los Angeles compound and Miami homes changed everything. Combs continues to categorically deny all the accusations, but the feds, for the first time, confirmed a criminal investigation is underway. It's a game changer because now the stakes are much higher, and his very freedom could be on the line. On March 25th, the image of armored vehicles rolling along the tree line street of wealthy Holmby Hills shocked viewers. In video from Fox 11, Homeland Security agents in tactical gear with long guns were seen lining up in what's called a stack at the gate to Combs' $40 million compound, acting on search warrants. Diddy's attorney Aaron Dyer called the raids a gross overuse of military-level force. The equipment was most likely the result of concerns about guns and drugs on the property, said Homeland Security expert Hal Kempfer, who's a former intelligence officer. We're looking at HSI going in kind of heavy armored vehicles, ballistic protection, assault rifles, basically with a lot of other things that they needed because they were very concerned about the threat assessment of what was there, Kemper said. So who is Sean Diddy Combs? For several decades following the murder in 1997 of his Bad Boy Records superstar artist Notorious B.I.G., Combs has been a larger-than-life figure. He sets trends in music, fashion, lifestyle, and branding as a businessman and entrepreneur. He's appeared on Broadway and in feature films. He applied his music industry honed marketing skills to his Sean John clothing line, Ciroc Vodka, Revolt TV, and other ventures before the lawsuit compelled many entities to cancel their association with him. Diddy was the untouchable man. He was on the Mount Rushmore of hip-hop moguls. This was a quote from a New York Post lifestyle article. Diddy's cultural footprint was huge, said New York Post lifestyle reporter Asia Grace. Diddy was the untouchable man. There was nothing he couldn't do, no space that he couldn't dominate. There was music, pop culture, fashion, education, politics. I mean, my entire life, Diddy was the man. The civil lawsuit allegations have already cost Combs millions of dollars in losses from canceled deals. There was public humiliation on social media. There were more sensational claims spread like wildfire. Combs continues to deny the allegations, but claims made on civil cases can lead to criminal investigations and criminal charges, says criminal defense attorney Dante Mills. They move forward with the civil case, but the civil case they spell out what happened, and because of who they were suing, Sean Combs, it got at people's attention. Mills said, the way these investigators work is they're just kind of out and about and looking to, and they have their eyes open and their ears open. And when they see something that could be illegal activity, they start to investigate. So that's the article there. So, Chris, how do you feel about that?
That's a lot, man.
No, it's a lot. Impact.
No, and I mean, we've known about this Diddy stuff for months now. We've at different points had intentions on talking about it, and for one reason or another didn't get to it. And even now, we probably won't do it as much justice as we probably should in terms of breaking everything down. But like, this whole thing started with one civil lawsuit from an actual ex of his that got settled in a day, maybe 2 days max. But I think it was like 24 hours that was settled. To now, we're at the point of actual criminal investigations for human trafficking. Like, and if you know anything about the law, human trafficking is not something that you want to be accused of, point blank, period. And it doesn't carry light time by no means. And so, to even be under investigation for this stuff, I think people always make, like, not always, like, over time, as the character and evolution of Diddy has been a thing, like you mentioned, since even before Big got killed. Like the rise of Diddy and his persona. I think people always had a perception that like I guess like the article says that like he was into certain stuff, like he was into certain things, but he was beyond the point of, being able to be brought down,
Right.
like impenetrable in terms of like the 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 guy or the character of him. And so now to be at the point now where, I mean, yo, like the way they stormed his properties is like they know something. You know what I'm saying? Like they know something. And it's not a matter of if he's getting charged, it's a matter of when he's charged.
Yeah.
To me, that's insane.
Yeah.
Insane. And so, like, you know, social media jokes aside, like it's like it's ugly if you even close to it. Like it's ugly if you even near it. I don't even think the article mentioned, like we talked about before we started recording, his kids being put in handcuffs and
Yeah.
his kids being involved now, and like them facing accusations and allegations. Like it is the definition of ugly. And
Mhm.
it's also like like the to me, from like my, and as far as my lifetime, like the biggest like fall from grace.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think I agree with you. I think this is a tragic thing, but if all this is true, man, that man go to jail for a long time. Don't get out. Lock the keys away and put him under the jail. If it's true, now, these are all allegations. These are all allegations, so we don't know. But I will say this, like you said, if Homeland Security is coming in there and they suited and booted like that, they have some concrete information that says that you're a bad person. We got to come in there. Because if it was something that didn't need any of that, they would have just came regular suit and tie or something like that. Maybe a firearm on them, but other than that, they wouldn't have came in tactical gear. Tactical gear is when there's weapons, firearms, deadly weapons in there, and we need to have this on because we need to be safe. So
And the coordination of it, like the
yeah,
coordination of all of your properties at the same time is like is there has to be substantial information here to warrant like this sort of a tactical, planned out, coordinated raid on all of your stuff
yeah,
outside of like your plane, like all of your
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, you don't ever like when it comes to law enforcement, you don't ever do something like this if it doesn't have the highest form of an okay. Like you don't just go with a couple guys and say, oh, we're just gonna raid Diddy's house. No. Somebody has to okay that, and it has to be someone that is sitting pretty high up in the echelon of law enforcement rankings to say yay or nay to that. So yeah, I think it kind of opened the floodgates when he settled the Cassie lawsuit. Then all these other lawsuits came out. Which, granted, if it's for money, then it's for money. But I don't think all these lawsuits are for money. I think some of them are serious allegations that need to be addressed, whether true or not. They need to be addressed. Somebody needs to be held accountable for these. And if Diddy is found guilty of these things, he needs to be held accountable. And it is what it is.
100%, man. 100%. I mean, like I said, it's one of the biggest like I don't even want. I mean, like you said, everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but I don't want to say character assassination per se, but like just the biggest like like I said, fall from grace, as far as like the article mentions, being larger than life to you know, if they have substantial information on you, like you said, you going away for a long time. So
Mhm.
if if you found to be guilty, and you know, again, like you said, like it's hard when it's. I mean, he's a billionaire, right? So like, of course, people are going to come after you for money, but it's hard. It's just hard to imagine that like all of this is like not substantiated.
Right.
I hope I'm saying that right, but like it's hard to imagine that all of this is like
Well,
unfounded in
yeah.
some form or fashion. You know, although settling doesn't mean that you're claiming that you're guilty of anything just because you settle a lawsuit.
Nope.
But like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Like I
It's.
said,
I mean, it's
we're gonna
sad.
wait and we're gonna wait and see on this. It is sad, and we got to see what comes out of it. We're gonna pay attention, be very close on this, and we're gonna keep adding information as we see it, more information as we see it to this, and to give you guys clued in onto updates as well. So last topic we're gonna touch on Dreamville beef between J.Cole, K.Dot, Future, Drake, and Rick Ross is thrown in there for some whatever reason. I'll let Chris handle this one because he's more up to speed on the beefs and what's going on, and I'll kind of chime in and give my 2 cents on that. So, Chris, take it away, brother.
Nah. So listen. Last time we recorded, we had a conversation about Kendrick's verse on Future and Metro Boomin's "We Don't Trust You" joint album, taking clear shots at uh, Drake, J. Cole,
Mm-hmm.
the perceived big three in hip hop. Um, since then, we had J. Cole put out album slash mixtape called "Might Delete Later." Included on that album, the final track was a song called 7 Minute Drill, where he responded directly to Kendrick Lamar's shots taken at him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and, you know, all hell pretty much broke loose from there. So I was fortunate enough to go to Dreamville Festival. I was super excited for Dreamville Fest. Got to see some of my literally my childhood idols. Um, got to see 50 Cent live. Got to see Jeezy live. I'm probably good for life. Uh, Shout out to Jeez. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to Mish. Shout out to India. Shout out to Tim's. Shout out to Shania. Like shout out to everybody who was out there with us together. Like we had an amazing time. Night two, obviously, J. Cole being the closer, getting us warmed up, going through a lot of his feature catalog. If I'm being honest with you, a lot of his recent features, and it was a dope show. Like I take nothing away from it, man. Like it was amazing, an amazing show. And then we get to the end of the night, uh, and I gotta take accountability again for another bad take. Like we talked about off air last episode. I had Cole in this thing. I had Cole in this lyrical warfare. Um, just based off of the feature run that I just described, man. Hearing him literally body every single verse for the past few years, putting out amazing projects for the past few. I mean, his entire career catalog is amazing, but more specifically, when he got out of his shell per se and started working with more artists and using other different beats. My money was on Cole pretty much, and you know, Cole has a song, "Let Nas Down," something like that to that effect, man. I felt let down out there at Dreamville Festival. If I'm being honest with you, man, uh, he got up there and listen. he got up there and he kept it all the way real. He kept it all the way real and said that he didn't feel right for what he did, that he was moving with, you know, potential bad energy, and that the energy that he was moving with wasn't the energy that he had with the same frequency that he had been moving with um prior to. And you know, basically took back his response to Kendrick Lamar, or more so admitted to regret. I don't I keep hearing people say apology. I don't necessarily know if he apologized. Maybe he did. Maybe I heard it a little bit wrong. Nonetheless, like uh took back his response, and you know, since then the song has been deleted off of the album. We've
Just
had a lot since
crazy.
then.
Which is crazy.
We Yeah, like and I'm gonna address that first. Like because again, like the 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 man in me, the same man in me who started this podcast with a public apology, like completely understands like the like the level of courage that it takes to like express that vulnerability. And so just on like a man level, like I I I respect that he felt like he had to get something off his chest, and he just got it off his chest. So I'm okay with that, but the part that I'm not okay with, and I would love for you to chime in after this, like the part that I'm not okay with is that when you sign up for a competitive sport, which we know that this music thing is, and you put your foot in that ring, you can't just pull your foot back out and say I misstepped.
Yep.
It's competition at the end of the day. If you lost, you lost. And that's just what it is. But you don't and I listen, I'm not I'm not one to judge whatsoever when it comes to acting off of emotion or moving uncalculated. Like I'm never one that I can't even I could never judge another person because I'm guilty of it every single day.
Right.
But like, man, to like be in a competitive field and like walk back something that like you literally could have just let rock. I mean like as the like I guess quote unquote hip hop purist, I can't really stamp that when we're talking about like competitive spirit. Like it's all competition at the end of the day. We're not talking about violence, or we're not talking about hurting nobody. We just putting out the best shit. Like like excuse my language. We just put out the best shit, man. Like so I wasn't feeling that, but you tell me, man, am I tripping? Or like
I agree with you. I think that was a masterful take. Um, yeah, I don't know. I didn't even get to listen to the track because they took it off of Apple Music. So when I got the chance to actually listen to it, the thing was grayed out. So they don't have it no more. And like I get you apologize, but you usually you apologize after the beef is like everybody responded, then you apologize. You don't apologize a day or two later after you done release the track. Like that don't even make sense. So I don't understand.
that's a
Like
great point, by the way. Like the song came out on a Friday, he apologized on Sunday.
yeah, like, you didn't even let the time get you didn't even let the dish get enough traction to where like oh snap like this you didn't give people enough time to digest it. So you release it and then you take it back. It's kind of like well that's kind of dumb. Like I've never seen the Locks do that. I've never seen Jay-Z do that. I've never seen Jadakiss do that. I've never seen Pusha T do that. I've never seen Fabulous. I've never seen the great artists that we grow and love ever do that. I've never seen Meek Mill do that when him and Drake was going back and forth. I've never seen Drake do that. Why even do that? Like I get it. I get the apology. I get it. Yo, bro, I want to apologize, but still leave the diss track. Leave it. Why would you even take that away? It's already out. Like And I get it. Like Chris, you said, he probably just wanted to get something off his chest. Okay, then why even release it then? Why even release it? You could have put a snippet out there if you wanted to tease people. Why would you even release the song? So it doesn't make a lot of sense. And it really doesn't make a good buzz for him because you put a diss track on it. You don't even let people judge it to see if it was good or not. I don't even know if it was good or not. I didn't get to listen to it. So it's kind of like, and I like J.Cole, but it's like I can't even judge if that was a good diss or not because he took the damn diss track off the damn album. So
it's on YouTube if you want me to send it to you.
Yeah,
But I mean, at this point, like, I mean, with hindsight being what it is, why it's kind of like why waste the time to listen to it now? It just don't hit the same.
Yeah,
and I mean, like, yeah, I mean, and yo, like I said, I respect that, man. Like, I respect that. Like, yo, you moving off of something that, like, you might not have meant. You know what I mean? I literally just apologize for that too. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, but I understand that. And so, but even that, like, like, it didn't have to get put out. Like you said, like, you could have just not released it. Or, like, you could have, like, I don't know, man. Like, you could have you could have just said nothing and just let it been what it was.
Exactly.
Even if you don't perform it, you don't even have to perform it, but just let it be what it is. Because at the end of the day, you take it off of streaming services, but it's out there to be judged still. Like I said, it's still on YouTube. You can YouTube it all day long. So it ain't like people not going to hear it. And so now it's just going to be a point in time in your career where people look at you and say, you put out this song that 48 hours later you admitted that you don't even believe.
Yep.
So do you actually think that you on this dude's level, or are do you actually believe that you are, the Muhammad Ali, as he said, in first person shooter? What's because now you got your mans out here dolo, for the record. Like, Drake is out here taking on every single last one of these dudes, and he's supposed to be the pop star.
Yep.
Like, J.Cole, for me, you were supposed to be the rapper's rapper. Like, and I get it that's not like that's like your persona isn't no braggadocious, like, in your face back and forth type of dude, and I respect it, like, for real, because it gives a great example of the kind of black man that you can be without having to put on that image. And so I respect it, seriously. Like, I take nothing away from it. But when it comes to this rap shit, man, like, it's just this rap shit. Like, that's it for me. Like, I feel like you said, man, I grew up on rap shit. Like, Beans, Styles, Kiss, Jada, 50, Cam, Nas, Hove, Meek, like, Joey Jihad, like, all the Philly spitters, like, literally, like, I battling is a part of it. It's a part of it. And so, like, I don't know, man. It's a nasty way to go out, if you ask me. Like, it's a nasty way to go out.
I think we both in agreement J.Cole shouldn't have done that. I think we both in agreement that Drake is kind of pretty much doing light skinned boy things and really crushing it right now. And I think agreement, like we listened to it. I mean, Kate, was that really it wasn't really that big of a diss. He just said, it ain't no big three. It's just big me. Like, okay, that was a nice bar, but it's like, bro, like, he said one bar, you come out with a whole song, then and then it's like you take it. So I don't know, but I don't like it. I don't like the way this is going. I don't like this for rap. I don't know, nigga. People just build differently. I don't know, man. I don't know, bro.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The J.Cole part of it, I don't like for rap. It's crazy to say, but the Drake and Kendrick part of it, I love for, and even the Ross part of it. Like you throw Rose
Yeah.
in there because Ross even got his joint off too. Still going on Instagram.
Yeah.
But like that part of it, I love it, yo. I love to see it. It's number one, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Like number two, it's fun, it's exciting. Like it's good to like. That's why we get into sports, just because we like to see the competition of it. It's not meant to be. It's not meant to literally like disparage a man's character or like. I mean,
Right.
maybe it. I mean, truth be told, there's probably real issues there. You know what I mean, I'm not going front about it. Like, they probably really don't like each other, but that's
Yeah.
okay. Like, you don't have to like everybody who does the same thing as you or is in the same
Bingo.
field as you. And so
Bingo.
that's why this thing is competitive. That's why you strive to be the best every time you get on the mic. Like, we don't podcast and try and put out like like some low level podcast and then take the episode down and apologize for the episode that we put out. Like, sorry guys, like that was a bad episode.
Yep.
It just is you you given a new opportunity every single day. And so like if you wasn't satisfied with your first one, put out another one. Because you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be hot. Like you're supposed to be that bull. But I mean, I don't think he wanna be that bull.
No.
I guess.
No. No. Not at all. But yeah. But I mean, that's our takes on it, guys. I mean, we gave y'all a lot. We gave y'all a lot today. We came with that fire today. We came with that pressure. We're gonna keep coming with that pressure. We're gonna keep coming on your heads. We're gonna keep doing what we gotta do to bring out that content, and we're gonna be more accountable with one another to bring on that content. So, CP, I don't know if you got any last words, man. You got anything you want to say to the people, to the folks, to the fans?
Nah, thank y'all, man. Appreciate y'all always rocking with us, man. Shout out to everybody behind us. Shout out to everybody pushing us and supporting us. Um, yeah, no, episode 17. I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure episode 17. You know what I mean? We kept y'all well fed on this one. We'll keep y'all well fed. Appreciate y'all rocking with us, and we out of here, man. It's been a long night, but we out of here.
Peace, 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 peace.